Hi friends, I'm Rachel Warnock, and today I thought I would talk to you a little bit about retrogrades, specifically the Venus retrograde that we're in right now. It is March 2017. Today is Holi, like Holi. If you're in India, Nepal, Southeast Asia, you're celebrating spring by pelting each other with colors. Um, or if you're here in the West, it's daylight savings time and it's really cold out. But last week, friends, Venus went retrograde. What does that mean? We're going to talk about it. So, in astrology, when when a planet is direct, it's moving forward in space. When a planet goes retrograde, it's an optical illusion that makes it look like the planet is moving backwards in time. And Venus does this every 18 months ish, give or take. And when a planet goes retrograde, some planets are retrograde for very, very long periods of time. In fact, they'll be retrograde for most of the year. The big planets, they move very slowly. They will retrograde for 9 months at a time or 6 months at a time. Mercury retrogrades happen about 3 a year, and they'll be retrograde for about a month. Mercury is pretty close, so its effects can be felt more easily. Venus is also very close, and it'll retrograde for about a month and a half, and its effects can also be felt more readily because it's closer to the Earth. So Venus rules love, relationships, and money, actually. So all of those things can be affected when Venus is retrograde. Whatever your current status quo relationship is with relationships, with money, or with beauty in life, that can be put in reverse, essentially. So if you have negative relationships with those kinds of things, Venus retrograde can be a wonderful time of like, everything is beautiful in my life. Or if things are moving really smoothly in all of those areas, Venus retrograde can be a little tumultuous. When we talk about retrogrades in astrology, a retrograde is symbolized with this symbol. But Rachel, that's the same as a prescription symbol. Exactly. So, in order... instead of thinking of retrograde as being like a scary time period when things get turned on their head, think of it as the universe shaking you up a little bit and saying, hey, maybe you need to view this from a different perspective. We all grow outside of our comfort zone. Growth doesn't happen inside the comfort zone. You have to get out of the box. You have to stretch yourself a little bit, and that's how growth happens. So think of retrogrades as a prescription to reassess, reevaluate, and to grow a little bit. It's an opportunity to look at your relationships, and it doesn't necessarily mean romantic relationships, and we're not just talking about like boyfriend, husband, girlfriend, wife, but like parents, siblings, friendships, any kind of relationship really. And is this where I want to be? Is this serving me to my highest good? Or is there something that maybe needs to be worked out? You can also think of like retrogrades as the Hanged Man in the tarot card set. He's hanging upside down from a tree. He literally is hanging upside down to get a different viewpoint. So that's another good way to think of retrogrades. It's just like flipping you up a little bit so you can see things from a different perspective. It can influence money, how you make money, where money comes from in your life. And so people might be looking at their careers a little bit. It's not like a super big career thing, but definitely sources of income is what Venus retrogrades might, they might bring in new sources. They might shake up current sources, or just cause you to reevaluate where money comes from in your life. It can also be a time when falling in love or making things beautiful comes very naturally. People will sometimes fall in love in a Venus retrograde, and then when it goes direct, they're like, oh my God, what did I marry? Or sometimes you fall in love and it's magical and it lasts forever and you get married and have beautiful babies. It's up to you, okay? you are in full control of your destiny. This is just kind of what happens. It brings in specific energies. So these are things that might possibly come up. You might feel the urge to beautify your environment. You might be like, oh my God, I really want to paint that wall. Or I need a new piece of art in my life. Or I decided to start painting classes. Like, you might feel inspired to beautify your surroundings. So that's kind of what comes up in a Venus retrograde. It went retrograde last weekend. It's going to be retrograde until early April. Venus had moved into Aries, making us very quick and kind of impatient in our relationships. Because it's retrograding, it's moving backwards, it's going to go back into Pisces, making us a little dreamy in our relationships, making us very soulful, making us kind of gloss over things a little bit. It's going to play with illusion and disillusionment within our relationships with money. But then after it goes direct in early April, it'll move back into Aries, making us passionate, making us impatient, and quick actioned in our relationships and in the way that we function with money. Right now, it's a full moon in Virgo today. So full moon in Virgo, sun is in Pisces. It draws attention to the physical body. So any kind of health issues that you might have been kind of like pushing under the rug or not wanting to deal with might be coming to the surface in this full moon, and really making you pay attention to your physical body and maybe want to take care of it a little bit better. Hopefully. I mean, it is spring, so, maybe start with that new exercise program, maybe do a spring cleanse, be inspired to stick with something you've already started, maybe at the beginning of 2017. Who knows? It's all up to you. But that's kind of what's going on a little bit astrologically right now, and thought you'd all like to know about that. And just keep in mind that retrogrades are not the end of the world. It's just it's just the universe's little way of shaking things up, tilting you on your head, making you look at things from a new perspective, little dose of medicine, reevaluate things and make decisions, being like, yeah, I really do want this, or not sure. So good luck, smooth sailing. See you on the other side.